let's clarify the difference between scaling a design and resizing a design. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, and we're doing all the free video tutorials on the Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic 3. After finishing all the sewing machine videos, it's time to start exploring all the embroidery functions. Now, one of the things that we have are online courses to help you go even beyond these basic tutorials, and those links to those courses are in the description below. Our most popular class is our Embroidery Essentials online course, along with a newer course called Design Positioning, allowing you to rehoop over and over and make all your designs connect perfectly, because this machine does everything to the 10th of a millimeter for exact placement. You don't even have to hoop straight. You can actually hoop everything crooked, and that feature in the machine does it for you. But let's talk about sizing design. So whether you've brought a design over via the cloud or a USB stick, or let's just use one of the built-in embroidery designs. How many of you have taken time to stitch out some of your built-in designs? They actually always look so much prettier stitched out than they do just on the screen. So we've kind of been using a design in the children's area. So if you haven't already, scroll through some of these tabs and explore the different designs that you have. So this first design in the children's tab, the little unicorn, if you just touch the design, nothing really happens. But if you touch and hold, that brings the design in. You'll find if your design doesn't come into the center, you can center it with the 4 directional arrows, touch the center one, and poof, it's right back into the middle of your embroidery hoop. So on this machine, we have the option to just take a hold of one of these handles and pull out. You'll get 20% larger, or if I do undo, I can get 20% smaller. Now, here's what I want to do. I'm going to put it back to normal, and I want you to watch right up here at this top number. This is stitch count. I'm seeing it says 8,200 stitches, and when I go to make it larger, I still only have 8,200 stitches. That means the design has just spread apart. And the reason for only having 20% change is because that's about where things might start to look a little skewed or like sparse in the stitching, because we're really just spreading the stitches out. Vice versa, as we make it 20% smaller, you're going to find yourself with stitches that are kind of starting to be a little denser, more on top of each other. So I'm going to go ahead and do undo. We remember the number 8,200. Let's take this same design, and again, make sure it's selected and come down to resize. Resize is a whole new area. Make sure it says resize up here before you grab a hold of one of those corners. You can do the resizing up or down with the arrows. So as I drag out, I can make this design as big as the hoop that I have on the screen. Now, as soon as one of the stitches goes outside, you kind of saw the hoop turn red-ish. That means I'm outside that particular hoop's boundary, and I'll just need to reselect a different hoop before stitching. But just for fun, let's just go ahead and confirm. So we have editing tools down here at the bottom. When we want to confirm your changes, you will have an X if you don't want these changes, but you want to touch the green check mark when you do. Now look at the stitch count. We're at 25,000 stitches. And to make it fit into the right hoop, let's just go down to hoop options. We see that the hoop that is picked was the 240 by 150 before we got started. So let's just pick the 360 by 200. You'll see here when we close the hoop options that now our design could actually be resized even bigger. So next time that you want a design and it looks a little too small and you want it bigger, pull out those bigger hoops that came with this machine, resize your designs up to those new sizes, and go ahead and stitch it out. Remember, you do need to know more about stabilizers when you are working with designs that have higher stitch counts. One of the things I like to do is take a fusible woven on the back of my fabrics, iron that on, and then stabilize with traditional tearaway or cutaway, depending on what kind of fabric I'm using, to get the best results. If you're unsure of which stabilizers you should be using, one of our online courses is called Machine Embroidery 101, everything you need to know before you start embroidery. That is a great course. It is over 4 hours long, and it has some embroidery designs and embroidery projects to practice on at the end of the course. But it's me talking about all the things you need to know about stabilizers, about threads, about tension. That is good foundation, plus you get to rewatch our videos as many times as it takes, or as you progress in your embroidery journey, to be able to go back and rewatch that information. It is so helpful. So keep that in mind. I'd love for you to take a design right now, open it up on your screen, play around with the corners, but then go into resize and try to see how big you can make a design.